They're like deep down.
All right, so tell them to join the next one.
Join the next one, everyone.
Everyone keeps saying we have a southern, maybe I have a southern accent. In my head, it's not that bad. Is it really that bad?
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
No. Guys, sorry about any
it's
technical
catching up.
difficulties. Yeah, hang on. We're gonna answer some Q&A. So, guys, sorry about that. We're gonna do a little Q&A.
Are we back?
No,
We're back,
not.
baby.
You're in the wrong one.
I'm in the wrong one.
You're in the wrong one. You're on Adam Speak. I put Adam Speaks Part 2.
Oh, part 2. Okay.
So
So there's two? I'm on
Yeah.
2 podcasts now?
yeah.
This is it. Right
In
here?
your face, everyone that came before me.
Nope, that's not it either.
I like your little thing here. That's what she said.
Here we go.
You there?
Yep.
Guys, Adam Speaks Part 2. I don't have it.
That's the thumbnail?
Yeah, that's what's going to be right there right now.
That's the most horrible thumbnail alive.
What, this one?
Hey, go in the bottom in there and tell people to go check the new one.
Where is it?
Go back up. Just
Okay.
hit enter real quick.
Hit enter.
Yeah, hit enter. Just refresh it.
Here.
Right there. And refresh it. There we go.
You have 180,000 subscribers.
180, good for you, man.
This right here,
I'm
Chew?
proud of you. I remember when it was 2.
Is this it?
No, because we're in a different one. We've got 17
Chew,
people watching.
Is this it?
These
No,
are my
it's not
17.
it.
These are my 17 most favorite people, because they stuck with us.
It's all right.
How many was on before, or were on before?
150.
That's a lot.
It was going. Yeah, unfortunately, let's just go and finish up. This sucks. God dang it.
It's okay, dude.
I'm not done.
It's frustrating.
There's
We had
28
everything-
people
everything-
watching,
every-
it says.
No one's watching. Well, they're just hanging on for a stream.
Where is it?
I think your cache isn't doing it. So,
Let's just find out. If people stick around, great. If not, no worries. We
Big
have
trick.
let's
Cache.
just finish up. The cache is where your computer basically stores information, so that it can basically like look up things faster. And so sometimes like this, where you have something coming up, it'll like just keep bringing up the same stuff. So basically that's gone, but the computer.
Are you sure that thing's rolling?
It's rolling, bro?
Are you guys in there?
No,
Go
no,
and do some
I'm
Q&A.
right here. I'm right
all right,
here.
do some Q&A, dude.
I'm doing it. I'm live.
Yeah, we're Q&A.
You all aren't live, but I'm live.
I'm not. It's me. Oh, there it is. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's
about that.
not over. That's right.
So,
I'm back.
all right. So, guys, send some questions. If you sent some, we probably lost them on the previous one.
You guys can send some questions. I'm just gonna bring some stuff up.
Chewy, we have so we have going on at the gym.
Someone
We have-
choke someone.
No, man.
That's
We do that all the time.
a run.
If you,
River one.
do that in a
if
tiny
you guys
room.
want to see something impressive, go watch Adam walk the gauntlet. That video is up on my channel, and you can watch Adam walk the gauntlet. I've never been so impressed with someone's belt gauntlet
Thank you, man.
ever.
That means a lot to me.
Like he did it, and it was like I walked after him, and I was like, "This sucks," because he walked the gauntlet and he stopped for every person to hit him.
He twerked, man.
I
well-
twerked, by golly.
And we had what's the song? Hurt so good, hurt so
Yeah.
good.
That was playing?
That was playing. Come on, baby, let me. You know
Was that Mellencamp?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mellencamp.
Who played
yeah.
that?
So well, I did because I thought it was funny because it's like hurt so good. It's playing as he's walking, and he's walking, dancing. And I remember I could not my face hurt from smiling so much, and afterwards I was like, I gotta walk the gauntlet, and I'm way more like sensitive to the pain, so I'm like, "Arr!" I'm like screaming and yelling as I'm like getting hit with these belts, and Adam took it like a champ. He just like gets in there, and is like telling people to bring it, and like it was almost intimidating because you looked at people and you're telling, come on, hit me, and then they're like getting ready to go, and they're like, well, you're not supposed to enjoy it, like
Yeah. This isn't fun for us.
yeah.
There was a question. Somebody asked, "What's the highest level of competitor we've trained or rolled with?"
It's so good.
If I had to say,
Come on, baby, make it.
somebody that made me
They're
feel,
gonna demonetize you, man. Shut up.
somebody that made me feel like.
Stop it. What'd you say? What?
So what's like the highest level competitor that we've ever trained with?
A black belt?
Well, yeah, but like maybe I would say Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad, probably.
When I rolled with him, I was like, "This is."
Really? I had a hard time with Hinger.
I didn't get the chance to roll
Hinger
with
stuff
Hinger.
too.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Hinger super tough.
Hinger has fabulous quads. Like it's the first thing I noticed. Like when we locked up, like we're like we tied up, and I looked down, like damn, that guy's got some good quads. He works out hard, man. You watch his Instagram?
Yeah, he's beast. He's a freaking beast. There,
He
speaking
does
of,
like 50,000 squats. Go, and I'm like, holy
he's
shit.
gonna be ACC, and then was he 88 kilogram? Is that what he's in?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I
Do you know who's in that? There's a bunch of killers
People.
everywhere, but yeah. Chew, anybody that you kind of roll with that stands out, technique, style, level?
There's just too many. There's too many for. I got asked this question recently. There's too many for different reasons. Because like Muhammad's a different role than Hinger.
Yeah.
Hinger was a different role. I've rolled with I remember I competed against like Lucas Lech, different role, but like different. Very very good.
Muhammad, I think Muhammad felt bad for me. He was like, you could tell he was like, I could totally destroy you. And he
Probably
did.
totally destroyed 99% of people.
I looked
He
on
was
his.
very gentle and graceful. I felt like, it was a good date he and I had. But at the end of it, my knee popped. So
God, he's such a freak of nature.
His
Even amongst guys like I was watching. I was looking at a picture of him. He's almost like 2-something. He's shredded to bits. He's huge.
God, yeah.
He's huge. And he's so athletic.
Belongs on a calendar.
That's the big thing. The big thing is you see people with this insane size, mass, and then athleticism, flexibility, movement, ability to kind of just float.
Yeah.
And you do that a lot. When
I don't have his flexibility though.
well, not that, but you have this
Yeah, I put him in X guard. He did the splits. I was like, whoa,
that's what
sucks.
I did to him too. He's baiting me for X guard.
Hey,
he did the split.
Did you roll with Bernardo Faria when he was here?
Yeah. I rolled with Bernardo Faria when he was here. I rolled with Bernardo when I met him up in Marcelo's. Yeah.
How's that go?
He beat me.
Marcelo,
he's.
As far as awesome, you're like, holy crap.
I roll him.
Bernardo was very much like. He was amazing.
His
pressure was really good. So basically, he was whereas he rolled Muhammad's bouncing all over the place, and he's he's just like a cat. Bernardo was he stuck to you. Once he attached to you, he was just he was stuck there, and you couldn't get away from him. And then he did the over under pass. I know he's doing an over under pass. And I couldn't stop it. I was like, shit. Yeah. So he's very good, and he's such a nice dude. That was one thing I was really really happy about because Bernardo was the first seminar that we had in a while when we brought him out. And I was just like, man,
nice dude. Yeah.
I was like, the thing is you hope that person's a nice person. Not just on cameras and stuff like that, but you hope they're a nice person, because you don't want to bring some guy and have to hang out with a dude for a little bit and be like, oh my God, this guy's such an asshole.
Have you ever regretted, obviously you're not going to say names, but have you ever regretted, man, this guy kind of sucks?
For seminars?
For seminar.
No, I see things. I've never brought out anybody for a seminar that I don't really have some connection to, that I haven't talked to. I met Bernardo, and Bernardo was really, really nice up at Marcelo's. I remember, he was incredibly nice. So I was like, oh, this guy would be great to bring out. And then, I was just hoping he was going to be nice when, he wasn't teaching a class. And he was, coming over, he's like, hey, it's very good to meet you. He's like, just this Bernardo.
He's the perfect Bernardo.
Guys, he's just such a nice dude. He was really, really nice. And then, very appreciative, very grateful and stuff like that. So very, very cool guy to have. But there's no guys that I've ever brought out that I'm like, man, I really wish I wouldn't have brought those guys out. Because all the guys that I bring out are typically guys that I enjoy watching or guys that have talked to me a little bit. And it's like, cool, let's do this. And then bring something to the table. You
know who I like? Joe Clark. Great gym owner, good buddy. Says nice things about me in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I want to say this. Joe, when I watch him lift weights,
he's a freak.
And I'm like, I don't even I can't even calculate the what he's lifting. I can't even calculate just because it's
because kilograms to pounds is hard.
But I'm like, he lifts it, and I'm like, okay, that looked like it was mildly difficult for him. But then you count the weight, and it's half a ton. You're like, okay, well, this is abnormal.
He shouldn't be that strong. We should put him down.
Joe's actually
he's a danger to everyone.
Joe's a jerk. He brought so I'm over there doing my deadlifts. Just gonna work up, do a little bit of weight, no big deal. Go do a little 315 action just for some reps. Doing deadlift, and Joe comes over. He's like, "You mind if I work in?" Oh yeah, sure, Joe, come on in. So he starts slapping plates on, and he gets up to 570 or something. I'm like, well, thanks, Joe. He's like, and then I ended up doing 4 plates, 405, just so that I was at least did 4 plates, so he didn't double my weight. I told Joe, I was like, he's like one of those women that brings her ugly friends around, so that this way makes her look better. Joe keeps me around so that when he's like, because he knows I'll lift with him, so he keeps me around to make himself feel good. He's like, oh, gee, you want to lift with me? Yeah, sure, let's lift with you. Let's lift, Joe. To be fair, I don't know very many people that can actually lift with Joe. And actually
that's why I don't lift at all in front of Joe. I don't want him to know how weak I am.
Actually, I will say this: it's better if you do lift in front of Joe because he's actually pretty good at coaching.
Oh, I know. I don't want to pick his brain, but I'm like, I don't want to lose his respect. I
don't think you will. I think if you are, and Joe's kind of like, like Chewy in a way, Chewy's this way with jiu-jitsu. Joe's like one of those guys where like he can literally
Hey, how long have we been doing this?
fine-tune your technique.
Do y'all care if I multitask while we do this?
What are you doing?
You keep talking. I like
All right.
listening to you. But I
No.
gotta finish something.
So, like Joe, like I feel like I have a decent, lifting mechanics and stuff, but Joe just shows. Adam had a backpack of stuff.
Keep talking.
What is he doing?
Just keep talking.
Okay. So Chewy, are you and Jess going out tonight to get some dinner? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, so I don't know. So Jess is out.
Okay. So full disclosure, everyone. So Adam comes in wearing a backpack. I'm like, what's in your backpack? He's like, don't worry about it. And I totally forgot about it. I don't know what's gonna happen. Do you know what's happening right now?
No, I don't.
Guys, stick around. It's
You
about
all
to
wanted
happen.
to talk about jiu-jitsu. Talk about jiu-jitsu.
So
Anyway, but
I
Joe,
wanted to talk about primates ripping faces off, and you're like, let's talk about
what is
jiu-jitsu.
Adam doing? So Adam is, if you're not watching,
There's a
Adam's got a
bowl.
bowl and a thing of Fiji water and Perrier and shaving
Barbasol.
cream. I don't know what's happening right now. We're just gonna play by play this. And then what is this? This is
That's for later.
Pons, and now is he gonna shave his head? Is he shaving his head right here? He's got baby powder and a razor.
They don't care about that. They have questions. Answer their questions. I'll take care of the rest here.
All right, guys, send us some questions. Send us some. I don't know. This is Sushi Friday. Is it Sushi Friday, Chewy? Why is he using Fiji? That's expensive water.
Because his head only gets the best. So
Do you have
is it
any-
Sushi Friday? So sometimes it's Sushi Friday. Sometimes we go for steak. It's either steak, sushi, or we go.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't know what he's doing.
You guys didn't realize. So like one of the things, like Adam is a very quiet individual, but one of the things you realize is that he does things for shits and giggles. He does
Adam
things for kicks.
is one of the
I think
funniest
eccentric is the word.
human beings that I've ever met. I'll tell you that right
he's
now.
very eccentric and weird, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Do you want me to move this out of the way? Cause
No, you're fine.
It's an expensive microphone. I
I'm
want
not
you to
going to
ruin
get it wet.
Bear
I mean, I have that effect on
Bear
people.
versus Silverback. So while we're waiting, Bear versus Silverback, what kind of bear are we talking about? I say a grizzly bear takes a silverback, but I think like a black bear.
What's the difference between a black bear and a grizzly?
Oh, the grizzly's huge, bro.
Bigger than a black
Oh
bear?
yeah, dude. Like
They're
a grizzly.
awful.
Grizzly's a
And they
monster.
chew you. They don't kill you and like do their thing.
Grizzlies are monster. Okay, if it's a grizzly bear, I would give it to the grizzly over the gorilla.
They want a better view, Chewy. Do you want to give them a better view of this?
Of Adam.
Yeah, Adam doing this
why not?
thing.
I'm not-
That's fine. Don't worry about
I'm
it.
not the show anymore.
Adam, yeah, let's get a show. Adam is
This is about multitasking. I've got things to do. I'm doing this.
Chewy,
Gotta
get
go
in
out
closer.
afterwards. I don't have
I'll
time.
get in on this.
Anyone need your help, Eugene, by the way.
What do you need?
You're going to have to help me.
What do you need me to do? Oh my God, what is happening? This podcast has gone out of control. What are we?
I know.
So Adam is right now shaving, putting. Oh God, he's putting. Oh God,
Sorry.
he's hitting stuff. So he's gonna shave his head on camera. Chewy is a great cameraman, by the way.
What would you do if a monkey attacked you really?
I would run.
You know, there are guys out there that think like, oh, I would like fight the monkey.
I would
I'd
run.
fight this. Or like, what if you had like a wolf? Like, would you like fight the wolf, or would you like climb a tree and try to get away from the wolf?
I think it's worth noting that we didn't know Adam was going to do this.
I had no idea he came. I'm telling you, he came with a backpack, and
Everyone
I was
always asks how I get my beard line so strong and my head so clean. This is how.
Chewy, so we've got. Let's talk a little bit about your takedown series.
Let's talk about that.
I don't know
What's going on with the takedown series?
guys. Ask us,
I don't know what's going on in my takedown series.
While Adam-
Adam and I did it.
while Adam is doing this.
Bear in a sippy cup. BJJ. I'm going to start lifting. I'm a blue belt. What muscle groups should I work on first? You should work on all your muscle groups. But more than likely, if you do jiu-jitsu, you've been training for a little bit, you probably got weak hip extension. And you've probably got a little bit of a rounded back. So it would probably be best to do some good stuff to work on your upper back. Some good rows, do some deadlifts, some RDLs would probably be nice, strengthen those glutes and hamstrings. But I would say do a little bit of everything. You know, this way you strengthen up the whole body.
Yeah, deadlifts are great.
P.S. Adam is a serial killer.
Maybe
That's not true. Who have you been talking to? You don't know anything.
They're dead. If you probably don't know, 'cause Adam doesn't leave a trail.
I don't. Do you watch Mindhunter?
No.
Oh, you should watch Mindhunter.
Nick Barnes. All right. I started BJJ. I started a few months ago after over a year of being too anxious to go. But your videos help motivate me. Any tips for my first comp?
First comp. I've got several videos on that. The big thing that I tell most people is just do it. Get it out of the way. Don't worry about how it goes. Don't worry about like winning and losing so much. Just get out there and do it, because most people have trouble just getting out there and doing it. And a lot of times the first couple of competitions really is just about learning what it's like to compete. Not so much everybody wants to win. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is you have to understand how to compete, because competing is kind of a subset skill of jiu-jitsu. You have to learn how to convert who you are in the gym to get to the mat.
Bring extra underwear. That's what I say. Do that.
Extra underwear.
I don't know why.
And then
my first competition was the first time I ever wore a cup. Like I
Yeah.
stopped at Dick's Sporting Goods on the way to my first competition to get a
And
cup.
that's legal? It's not legal, is it?
not in most competitions.
What, cups aren't legal? Like even in like local tournaments?
They're legal in local ones.
Joe Clark, I think there's promotions in a week, so go get your blue belt.
Yeah. Chubbs Peterson says, Chewy, how do you keep improving your game? It's funny. This morning I was actually rolling, and I was talking to the guys afterwards, and I was asking everybody, I was like, what do you think I was working on this morning? Because I try to work on something specific. And this morning I was rolling, and my focus was not on any particular submission, but on just keeping moving. So basically, when I was rolling, I was trying to move so fast that I couldn't possibly actually think about the position. And so it was basically causing a lot of scrambles, and I was, just moving around really fast. And it was a good workout. And the big thing, I guess, the takeaway from that is to always have something you're actually working on. So there's a difference between just going to practice and having actual deliberate practice. Deliberate means that you actually are thinking about what is it that I can improve upon, what is it that I can actually do versus, I don't know, I'm just going to go train. And I think that, there's times to have that time where you just tune out and you just jump in the gym and you train. But there is a time to say, you know what, I really need to work on this move, this technique, this position, whatever it is. So having some sort of goal for your game when you hit the mats is very important. I think that would be very helpful for most people trying to get better.
Well, I think it streamlines. It helps streamline where you're going, kind of, so you don't feel like you're just doing whatever. If you have a purpose to your role, and if you're trying to get the role to go a certain way, I think you'll see the difficulties or some of the hangups that you have getting into a position. Because you talk about this all the time, Chewy, about the important part is getting into a position. A lot of times it's the entry, and that's kind of the main thing. Once you get the entry, the rest is kind of
The entry is the starting point. If you can enter into the position, then you give your time, then you can go.
Yeah. Adam's quick with that.
Adam, I don't know if you know this, but your Perrier is lime.
Can I ask you a question?
That was deliberate.
Why are you doing Perrier? What's the point?
I like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm in a spa.
All right.
How's it look?
It looked good. You look great.
Will you rub lotion on me?
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Yes.
I got your recent competition
package
overall. I thought it was valuable, but a lot of the content was available free on your podcast and videos. Would have been nice to have more exclusive content.
Andy BJJ. So here's the thing about that. Like, if you went through and pieced everything like from my videos, if you went through and just scoured them, man, like as much videos as I've done, it would be incredibly hard for me to give you anything that I haven't already said already. Like, I mean, literally, that's the thing. It's like there's so much out there that I've done already. A lot of what I'm doing is basically packaging it up and redoing certain videos. And so in that content, there was a lot of exclusive content. For instance, the rolls. I showed my matches that I had at the Chicago, and then I broke them down, did a narration, and then I showed the techniques that I was using to kind of give you an idea as to what's going on in my head. And then as far as the competition, which is, I think there's about an hour worth of video that was me talking about my competition preparation. A lot of that, if you watch through that content, that's not actually available anywhere. Like, I don't talk about my specific tapering before competition. I don't talk about the way that I train specifically before competition, and all that stuff was exclusive to that. Now, as far as like the general idea, I talk about the general idea, but I don't actually talk about the specific tapering I use for competitions, and I did in that series.
Chewy, why does somebody go to a restaurant?
To eat.
Okay, but You could probably make similar food at home.
Oh,
right?
they
get
go
all
for
the
convenience.
You get all the ingredients. You can get all the physical therapy, for example. You can look on Instagram and find every single exercise in the freaking world.
But hold on,
do you know
hold
what
on.
to do and when to do it and how to do it?
But the more I think about this, the more that like a lot of that actual that stuff, the footage from the competition was original, was new. I haven't posted it anywhere. It's not anywhere. And then, like I said, all those competition tips where I was actually breaking down like all these little tips. I showed the carb drink that I use. I was showing like about the salt, and I was even going into like I said, the exact like X amount of weeks out is when I stopped doing this and that, whatever. So it's like I might talk about that stuff sometimes, but I don't really dive that deep into it. And that was actually very much a how-to. So
When I think like going back to a younger belt or white belt, blue belt, whatever, an earlier belt, I'm not necessarily looking for, you're not going to do any kind of technique that's not been shown. It's about the intangibles, certain things, certain things that set you apart. It may be a mental edge, a mindset, a preparation tip, because a lot of the stuff, you're already there. When you're at a competition, your game is your game. But sometimes having a certain mindset or a certain preparation tactic can give you, that helps. So
here's one thing that's interesting. Back in 2014, when I had a knee injury, I gave away free private lessons. And guess how many free private lessons I gave away?
Couple.
None.
Like one. I gave away one. I think it was one private lesson. Now, as soon as I started charging, guess how many private lessons I started selling?
A lot more.
Yes, a lot more. Like people actually wanted them.
It's value.
So here's the thing. So what I was gonna say
for-
is value. So basically, people, and honestly, it's like this. It's like what's free doesn't really have a whole lot of value. What you pay for, you have some skin in the game, and you're more likely to do something with it. It is what it is.
Chewy, somebody asked about they've done some competitions, but not having a coach. This is their first one without a coach.
That's probably good.
How do you, kind of first tourney without a coach? Do you have any similar first time experience, or kind of maybe what are some recommendations?
I remember my first couple times competing without a coach. I loved it because because I put a lot of pressure on myself to win, and my coach is over there watching. Here's a great example. So, one of my best performances as a white belt, I remember this, was at the Arnold's in 2004, and I beat a purple belt. My coach was not there at the time. It was earlier in the morning. He wasn't awake and he wasn't there. And so I was competing without him. And because he was gone, I was just going. I wasn't thinking. I didn't have anybody to impress, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was so much more relaxed for me personally. Like for me, whenever I go to places and nobody even now as a coach, the toughest role, like as far as being intimidated that I've ever had, was back in 2013 when we were at the local tournament where it was an invite for black belts. It was or open for black belts, but it was me, Brent, Bruno, and a guy named Tom. 4 of us getting after it, right? So we all had round robin. We all had to go against each other. When I did that tournament, we had 60 competitors that day in the competition. There were probably like 80 people from the gym sitting around watching me. Bro, you want to talk about like being nervous? I'm like, oh my God. And 2 of the guys, Bruno and Tom at the time, had wins over me. Now I ended up beating everyone, but I was like super nervous because people are there to watch. Like my guys are there to watch me roll against these guys. And so for me, like whenever I go to places and it doesn't really work that way anymore, but like back when I would go against places and nobody knew who I was, I didn't have a coach, I was like, perfect. Weights off. Nobody's watching me. I don't care. It's like there's nobody to see me over on the side judging me. It's just like it's going to be another roll that gets, whatever, and those were always pretty much like hands-off type things. So I always enjoyed that. But I would say as far as like tips on that or what to do, just go do it. Just like go have fun and just get out there and get after it and, just enjoy the competing and just enjoy not having to like have anybody watch you.
I do like having a coach though. Like I think they can see things. Obviously,
they can.
Sometimes
sure.
The intensity of the match or the kind of the stress of the situation being a tournament, you can kind of get caught up in and not open up or not have an awareness of points or time or whatever. So you can get some good little pep in your step with somebody kind of giving you a little bit of feedback.
Sure, absolutely. You back now? You back from shaving your head?
You gonna put lotion on my head?
Yeah, you wanna? Where's it at?
Right here.
Chewy, tell us what we got going on at the gym while I put lotion on his head. How do I do it? 2 hands?
No, just put like a little dollop and then like rub it on me.
Is that new?
No, that's what I always use. It's just for travel.
So at the gym, we've got belt promotions next Thursday.
You like that?
Oh, this is so bizarre. We got belt promotions on Thursday, and then September 28th we have team training. So all our Sean Hammond's affiliates are going to drop out and come by the gym and drop by.
They're going to drop out now.
They're going to drop out. And they're going to drop out now. Like I'm not going to roll with a serial killer who shaves his head
There's
on the podcast.
nothing serial killer about this. This is important. It's grooming. I have things to do. Thank you. I felt really good. Do you want to try?
Shave your head. Chewy, shave your head right now.
No.
Chew, you want to rub lotion on me?
Rub lotion on his head,
No,
dude.
I'm not rubbing
It's
lotion.
fine. It feels smooth.
Right.
Smooth.
Let's see Gina's here.
What's your opinion of doing drop-ins at other schools while wearing your school patch?
I
Should
think-
you only wear
Just
a plain gi.
Who gives a shit?
Who
Just
cares? Like, if they're going to give you shit about it, then
Well-
that's not the gym to drop in on.
Listen. So first off, some gyms aren't okay with it. I'm completely fine with it because to me it's like rep your team colors, man. Like if you're going to someone's gym, like when for instance, like if someone comes to my gym, I like them to wear their team patches. Like wear your Gracie Baja patch, wear your Atos patch, wear whatever patch you have. Like let us know where you're from. Like, oh man, I train with that guy from wherever. It's like, to me it's not a contest. It's like you're just dropping in, we're having a good time, and if you like, I never understood that. Like, why is it such a big deal? Because some gyms it's a thing. Like,
Territorial. People are territorial.
I
They
know,
don't want to.
But like, what do you get by making someone not wear their team patch like in your vicinity? Like, what's the point? Like, what is it? What are you trying to stop?
What's the point of making everybody wear the same gi?
Well, I
with
understand
the same patches.
Well, that's
I
uniform.
think it's so they can sell a gi.
Well, it's uniformity, and I can understand to some degree because uniformity makes people people get off on that. Like for instance, it's like, oh, we all have the same gi, we're all standing the same way, all that kind of stuff. People get off on that, but like wearing a gi, you're not allowed to wear your team patch. Like, what is it that you get from that? And I never understood that because I'm like, I don't care. I don't understand it.
I've never read anyone's gi. Like, people come in like, I'm not reading like, oh, what patches do you have? Like, who cares?
Well, I like it because they stick out. It's like, it's that guy from Gracie Baja. It's that guy from wherever.
Yeah,
like,
that's fine. But like, as far as like, I would read it and be like, oh, you can't train here. No, I don't care. Like, do what you got to do.
Let's hear it.
Opinion on this is
See that
opinion on blue belt running a school. It's from Biggie B.
Here we go.
I mean, if it kind of happened to us, like back in the day, we kind of had a blue belt kind of running, purple and blue belts running.
Yeah,
But
back in the day, you took what you got.
Here's what I would say. If there's black belts in your area, you should be training with black belts, right? Like unless those black belts are like awful human beings. If you get black belts in there, you should be training with black belts. Like a blue belt is still super new. It's not to say that they can't give you some information, but I think that it's one of those things where I've just noticed this more and more, where like you get this young culture where it's like people just want to jump to the straight of the line. Right, it's like you train for a couple of years. Like I did my time, now I want to be the guy. I'm like, no, man. Like, why don't you do like 5 to 10 years, and then like then say, you know what, I've got Here's the thing, like when you read Joseph Campbell's work, he talks about the hero's journey. The hero's journey is that you go on the journey. The journey has to be hard. It has to be arduous. You have to go through some ordeal, and then on the opposite end of that, then you pop out and you say, hey guys, I have something to give you. To me, and again, I don't know the situation, so maybe the blue belt that's the only thing in the area, and if that's the only thing in the area, train with that blue belt, whatever, do what you got to do, right? But if someone's trying to run a gym and they're so new, it's like, bro, like, what are you going to give them? You haven't had any experience.
Right.
What do you have to give? You've been training for a year and a half, 2 years. Like, I was training from like, I was training for like almost 7 years jiu-jitsu and then like another 3 from wrestling, 10 years before I became a jiu-jitsu coach. And even then I was like, I didn't want to become the jiu-jitsu coach. I wasn't like, yes, I'm the coach. I'm like, oh shit, I'm the coach. Like you guys are coming in there and you want me to show you stuff and you have hopes and dreams and I'm supposed to help you. Oh, like that's nerve-wracking, but people just like, I think that if you look at serving people rather than serving yourself, you should have that fear because you should be thinking, man, I've got to like provide for these people. Right. I got to serve these people. And so I think that, if you're going to decide to take on that thing, your first goal should be to fill up your cup with experiences. Have something to give. So this way, when it comes time for you to step into that position, you got something to give people.
Right.
But I went on a long rant. If that's the only thing you got, go with it. If you got black belts, train with black belts. Simple as that.
One guy looks like Norman Rivero. Am I saying that correctly? He wants to know if I had a wrestling background. I did not. No, I came in fresh. Totally fresh. I knew nothing. I wish I did. Do you wish you'd done wrestling when you were younger?
I actually did wrestling for a week.
Did you?
Yeah, and
Good
I
for
was
you.
like, I tweaked my thumb. Like I sprained my thumb.
Like, I'm done.
I shit you not. I tweaked my thumb, and I was like, I was like, nah, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. So you know what? Honestly, like I'll tell you this.
Those guys were always miserable.
I think if I would have started jiu-jitsu like in high school or something like that, I don't think I would have appreciated it. I don't think I would have stuck with it.
No.
It didn't mean as much to me as it did when I got to my mid-20s and I started. So I wish I would have started in one aspect, but in another aspect, I'm happy that I didn't find it till later because it gave me that passionate love for it. But you know,
I remember guys wrestling in high school. Were you like this? Like, did you with like the weight cutting and everything? Like,
it's brutal, man.
It was brutal. I talked to dudes and they were like sweating off all this weight. And, like,
Spitting in cups and stuff.
yeah.
17
Shaving
years
their
old.
legs. Like every ounce counts. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
man, you want to go out tonight? No, I gotta cut weight. I'm like,
That's
whatever,
right.
homie.
Got to sacrifice, man. Valuable virtues to have.
Wrestling
Learn how to sacrifice.
sounds fun.
All right,
Learn how
here's
to Here, I got one from this guy
go
first.
ahead.
OKBA says, opinion about rolling with opposite gender. There are some awkward, he said award, but I think it means awkward interactions while rolling. I noticed because that attraction will always be there. One time a girl moaned while sparring and apologized. So, brother,
Let's delve into that a little bit.
so I'll just say it this way. I've rolled with some very, very attractive women. And it's one of these things where it's like, yeah, I noticed that they're attractive, but it's like, whatever. The only time I can ever remember being kind of like, ooh, like that was like, you know, kind of like spark something was there was a girl that I rolled with one time and she let out like a moan and it was like right in my ear. And it was like, you know, it's like I mean, it is what it is, you know, like, you know, and I kind of like, but it's okay. It's like, it's not a big deal. I'm completely rolling and like sexual, like, you know, interaction is completely different to me. Like I can roll with even like my girlfriend, like when my girlfriend, like, when she comes and trains, like there's nothing sexual about it to me. I'm just rolling with her, you know. You know, I don't know. It's like I think that one of those things where like the more you do it, the more you get used to it. I could definitely understand like why you would be like, look, I mean, no matter what, man, like there's going to be some residual attraction, maybe, but at the same time, it's like you just don't have to act on it. Like it is what it is. You can just move around. If you feel uncomfortable with it, just tell them you wouldn't like to roll. Just say, hey, listen, it's nothing against you, it's me. I just don't want to roll. Like I had a guy who was he was a Muslim. And he didn't, you know, because of his religion, he didn't roll with women. He was like very nice about it. He said, listen, I don't mean anything by it. It's just a part of my religion. I'm not allowed to roll with women. No big deal. So if it's something that you feel like you can't control, just decline the roll. You know, no big deal. And then we've got a $2.99 little payment boost here. I forgot what they called it. What do they call those? Super chats from
Thank you.
Zach
Thank you for
Amon.
the $3.
He says pineapples on pizza. That's bullshit. Pineapples on pizza.
You know what's
It's
funny
disgusting.
is when you
I'll do it.
when-
Pineapples on pizza. is
You're talking about
gross.
when you guys roll with women. When they roll with me, they usually look at me and like, "Are you done?" That's all I get. So if you're getting moans, man, good for you.
Man, yeah, I don't think it really.
We're down to 10% battery.
Oh, we got a $5. Who's this?
There you go. Who's that?
Re-Up Entertainment. Sprinkles on ice cream. Of
Sprinkles on
course.
ice cream.
We'll take it.
I don't like sprinkles on ice cream, dude. Like I don't because the sprinkles add a crunchy texture of candy that I don't want to my ice cream. You know, I just don't like it.
I said, was it Christian F wants to know if I'm gay? If I am, is that a problem for you? But no, the answer is no.
He's got 2 daughters.
And a son.
And a son.
And a wife.
I reproduce regularly.
He's very virile. Sprinkles on ice cream. I'm not a fan, dog. Not a fan of sprinkles on ice cream.
Why?
Huh?
It's good.
Because I don't like the texture change. Like,
Hey, it's Chad the Beast Hardy. He says,
Chad.
hi, what's up, man?
Hey, Chad. Chad is.
see, Chad agrees too. Gross.
Ooh,
Sprinkles on ice cream.
501. Somebody did a 501. Who's that? Logan
I do
Evans.
love Chad the Beast Hardy.
Oh, did a 501? Where's the 501?
I
don't
didn't
see
know
it.
we could donate for questions. I'm about to go to practice. Baked and full of cookies and coffee. Please help. Take a big poop.
Baked? Like is in like high?
I think he's high.
Full of cookies and coffee? You gonna have a tough time today, brother.
Logan, I love the 501. That's amazing.
Logan with a 501.
Uh-oh, Zach
super chat.
Amon, $2.99
Best
again.
best food after training. My personal favorite, if I'm talking about a hard training session, is white rice, some sort of meat. Like some protein, typically grass-fed beef, maybe some chicken, some leafy greens, and then if I'm really wiped, I'll polish it off with a little bit of cranberry and orange juice.
What about
Man, listen to this. Like, did you hear all that he just said?
Listen.
Eats his
What
crap
about junk food?
And then my wife texts me after I watch him eat this crap at the end of class, and then like my wife will text me like,
thanks for the $5, Dwayne.
Yeah. Or like my wife's like, you want to pick up Chick-fil-A? I'm like, yes, I do. Like,
have you all tried that Popeyes chicken sandwich?
No, is it awesome?
I don't know. I haven't tried that.
Oh, we should get some after this.
Hey, here's what we should do.
He won't do it because he's samurai.
No. Here's what we should do. We should go take that Popeyes and we should throw it in the toilet and cut out the middleman.
What?
Fucking Popeyes give you the shits.
I haven't had I don't think I've ever had Popeyes.
Joe Clark bought me Popeyes like 5 years ago, and I could have just thrown it in the toilet and been done with it.
You didn't like it?
It didn't like me.
With the chicken?
And then we got Martin Cole, and he says, I'm about a year into BJJ, and I have lost 80
pounds. These guys are
pounds.
competing.
What would you recommend I do to adjust the new weight when rolling? Love you guys. I don't know, man. If you lost all that weight, I think you would be a good idea to just kind of experiment and see what your boundaries are, man. Like go out and start trying new moves and new positions and kind of see what you can do with this new body you've developed. I mean, that's what I would think. Play around with it. You got this new physical vehicle that you can test around.
Brand new body.
Right. I mean, it pretty much is.
Play with it.
Adam, after training food, stop it. After training food.
After training food.
Yeah, we didn't finish.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Dude, I want sushi.
My wife
sushi.
She'll text me, she's like, you want to pick up some Chick-fil-A? I'm like, yeah, but I feel guilty now because Chewy's been eating, what do you eat? Turkey and leafy greens?
White rice.
No. You eat turkey, ground turkey.
Why do you have to ruin everything, Chewy?
You do. You ruin everything. You make us feel guilty for being us.
I don't say you got to do anything.
Why do you shame us?
You don't, but you're like, look at what I'm eating.
Here's why.
You want to go eat some wings and play some video games later?
No, he can't.
I have a low thyroid function.
Oh God!
What?
Here we go.
Listen, that's not even a thing.
It is a thing.
So
basically, what that means is my metabolism is slow. So if I friggin' go ham on food, I get fat quick. Like,
prove it. Let's play with that.
Let's see what happens. Do a week of it,
let's
do a taste.
I'll
like
eat wings.
Like a test.
No, I'll be like 230 like by next week.
Let's do it. What are you right now?
How big are you now?
Like 215.
Oh, that's nothing.
15 pounds. Oh, you can do that.
Aren't you doing like super heavy or something?
Yeah, super heavy, but 221's a cutoff.
Well, what's after that?
Actually, 215's a cutoff.
Ultra heavy?
No, 215's a cutoff. Yeah, then it's ultra. I don't want to go to ultra.
Do ultra.
Do it. Just do it. You handle those guys. You body slam that one dude, and you're good.
Yeah, but
how many people are ultra that you know?
Ultra. Stop it. I'm not doing ultra.
All right. Any advice for extremely socially awkward grapplers? That's from David Fernandez.
Do what Adam did. Just show up for a long time and then just eventually let yourself out of the bag.
And then shave your head in front of everyone.
Yeah.
YouTube. True.
It worked for Adam. It'll work for you.
Well, I didn't hear. What was the question?
All socially awkward grapplers.
Socially awkward? Ain't nothing socially awkward about me. I'm fabulous.
Best guilty pleasure food?
Zach Amon, $2.99. He's throwing down the $2.99s.
Man, like
how do we split that 3 ways? We can't.
1, 2,
Are y'all gonna
3.
give me money for this?
No,
probably not. He's like, no.
I don't even know.
Well, so best guilty pleasure food. My favorite.
Buy me some Chick-fil-A.
I go get some
okay.
ice cream.
What's that? $20. Randy, you're my new best friend.
Randy, you're all right, man.
Randy's beating all y'all.
Here's my question: is it wrong not to show up to my biannual promotions? Dude,
biannual.
You should totally show up to your. You should show up and celebrate people's their promotions. What?
I'm not saying anything.
What? You should show up.
I'm not showing up.
What?
For what? For
promotions?
Biannual promotions?
Is it considered rude or uncool? No, it's not considered anything. But you should show up because
I feel like we got people that do that. They'll show up like it's promotion night. I'm like, you haven't been here in 3 years. What do you think's gonna happen?
I got guys that show up that don't show up because they're trying to avoid belts. That's
a thing too.
Friggin' Derek Albright back in the day. Man, I tried to get that guy a brown belt for years, and he kept avoiding it.
You should be ahead of me right now. Yeah,
it was stupid. I was like, dude, you're so tough. Like you need to be a brown belt.
And then who else? We got Chris Nichols. And then freaking Damon, Kimura City over there. He's a monster.
He thinks he's funny. He's not. Get your black belt, son.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Wasting my time.
God. That is frightening though. Like a black belt. Were you scared when you got your black belt?
What do you mean?
Oh.
Crazy happens. I didn't go Super Saiyan like I thought I would. But yeah, the same people that like give me a hard time before. Like
Still give you a hard time?
Yeah, they gave me a hard time on Thursday. I got my black belt on a Saturday. Came back Tuesday. Like, yeah, they're still tough to roll with.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I don't know.
whatever.
Costa Rica, Adam Eugene. Who's SP?
That's Stephen Pierce, my Brit buddy.
What's
So-
up, man?
Yeah, I actually wanted to go last year, and we were all about to do it, and then we bought a building, and so we couldn't go. So, Adam, you ever thought about going to Costa Rica? I think it'd be so much fun.
I'm afraid of the mosquitoes.
Is that like what's that? West Nile? Is that still a thing?
That's like here, man. You'd probably be safer down there. Now they got like spiders the size of basketballs down there, but no, I'd go, but I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you.
All right.
What my diet consists of.
Yeah, let's talk about your diet. You eat like a rabbit.
No, I eat a lot of meat, but
You
I
eat
just,
like a carnivorous rabbit.
I'm an omnivore.
Whatever.
So
You're a bear.
probably I think the diet that you consider what I follow. I kind of like. There's a guy named Stan Efferding who came up with this thing called the vertical diet.
Okay.
I don't follow
Explain
it.
that.
I don't follow it exactly, but basically he talks about, and I like this idea. He basically talks about eating all these different foods to lay a foundation for your macros and micros, and then if you want to start upping the calories, you can just eat more rice and easily digestible foods, right? Like more rice and meat. But like eat a little bit of like full fat yogurt. I'll eat like at night typically. I'll eat a handful of carrots every day. For the
That's your measuring unit, a handful?
Yeah, a couple handful of carrots with a little bit of hummus during the day. I typically have a little bit of just a little bit of orange and a little bit of cranberry juice. The cranberry juice has some iodine in it, good for the thyroid. Drink that, and then I'll have basically meat with veggies. Typically, I'll have meat. I'll have potatoes at one of my meals throughout the day, and then I'll have typically sautéed spinach, about 3 to 6 eggs each day.
That's a lot of eggs.
Yeah, it's then just you eat these different things, and so I break my meals about 4 meals a day. Is what I like.
And what do you supplement? Do you do any kind of supplements and stuff? I know
I'll use a little bit of protein sometimes. I'll drink a Fit 8 every now and then because it has about 30 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay.
So sometimes like before then, and then I'll drink a black cup of coffee in the morning with a little bit of coconut oil in it.
No cream?
No cream.
No cream?
But I don't supplement too much other than like maybe that. In the wintertime, I'll take some vitamin D and K2 supplements because I don't get a lot of sun. And then sometimes if I need to sleep a little bit more, I take a CBD oil. And then if I need to sleep more, I'll take some magnesium with it.
Yep.
About 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium. You got to be easy on the magnesium though, because it'll give you the
poops.
It'll give you the shits, yeah. Because it binds to it binds in like the liquid binds in your stomach and then it basically can create loose stool. So about 200 usually is where I top off at. And I take a little bit of creatine, about 5 milligrams a day because it's one for muscle strength, but also it's a nootropic. So
Yeah.
it's good for the brain health. So
Yeah, I do a little bit of the CBD, and I do the I did do some like it was like a collagen or something.
I take
supplement.
collagen. Yeah, I take some collagen for my bones too.
And yeah, like the research on that is not it's
What
hit
about
and miss, but
what about the glucosamine? Do people still do glucosamine
So,
and chondroitin? I feel like that kind of fell off.
it's kind of one of those things. The research on that isn't great, but like some
I
people
knew
really
it.
feel like it helps them. They feel less stiff. They feel like their joints don't ache as much. So it's one of those things where if you take it and you feel like it helps you, you should do it. Doesn't matter what the research says, in my opinion. Even if it's a placebo effect, if you feel like it's helping you, then I would take it.
This is so much though. Like everybody, like in today's day and age, like science has become religion, right? So basically, like like for instance, like meditation. Now there's all these studies on meditation. It's great for you, right? But like years ago, there wasn't. But people wouldn't do it. Oh, I don't know, And there was there were these guys meditating. They're like, dude, this is amazing stuff. It's changed my life. And people are like, oh yeah, whatever, that's stupid. And then they're like, there's a scientific study that comes out. Oh, I guess I'm going to meditate now. It's like, go experience things and don't wait for a friggin' study to tell you whether or not it is. Now the studies are great, but there's so many studies that contradict each other.
Sure.
It's like go out and experience for yourself what life has to offer.
Your
rather
body
than
is
waiting.
different. Your body is different than anybody else. It's going to respond differently to different stimulus. It's going to respond differently to different foods. Why are some people lactose intolerant and others aren't?
Genetics,
everybody's
man.
different.
You know what?
And your body's going to respond differently to different foods, stuff like that. So,
Turd Ferguson says Kodiak oatmeal with protein. I don't do the Kodiak oatmeal that much. Although I'll every now and then if I want some pancakes, I'll do the Kodiak pancake mix with some protein powder. Put some little protein powder in there.
all
Let me
right.
tell you this before we get on from this topic.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people owe me an apology because for years I did not eat breakfast. I would just get up. It was a time thing. I couldn't eat breakfast.
I was intermittent fasting before it was
I
cool.
know. I was intermittent fasting before it was cool. It's exactly what I was going to say. People used to give me a hard time, like, you don't eat the most important meal of the day. And then now they're like, oh, I intermittent fast. I'm like, that's what I've been doing since I was like 16. But no one ever gave me credit for it. They gave me a hard time. Where's my apologies, internet?
What will you do if you can't train due to not having funds available to join a gym? That's from Tag Size Measy.
So here's what I would say, and this is just I was 18 years old. I found a way to train. Like, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be crude, okay? If you're a man.
Brace yourselves.
Okay? So they talk about this in like some of the old like Think and Grow Rich books and stuff. They talk about the transmutation of sexual energy, right? Okay? So basically, think about this. Think about if you're a man. Think about the links that you'll go through to pursue a woman, okay? We've all experienced it before. We've done some stupid stuff, basically, to get our ladies, right?
Yeah.
Agree?
Sure.
Agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, take that same mindset towards whatever it is you want to do. Oh, man. You're willing to chase after, like, everything else you want, like you would, like, your woman? Right? Like, dude, that's some drive, right? Like, if I said on the other end, it's like, listen, if you go pay your gym dues, there's going to be this beautiful woman waiting for you. Like, you'd be like, I'm going to pay my gym dues. I'm going to find some money. Or I'm going to talk to the coach, hey, can I mop the mats or something? Right. You're going to figure out some way to make it happen. So that's my thing. It's like, if you really want it, then you turn it into a burning desire and you find a way to make it happen. Whether you talk to the coach and you say, hey, listen, why don't we do an exchange? Or you say, you know what, maybe I can stop doing this other thing that I'm doing and I can get some more money. You know, it just, to me, it's like, I guess you could be completely strapped for cash. It's possible. But to me, it's a lot of times it comes down to priorities.
That's,
you know, I mean, like I said, I was 18 years old paying $140 a month for me and my buddy to train. And you know, training, it's like, that's a lot of money back then. This is 2003, $140 a month. You know, plus we were paying for tournaments and everything else. I would pay for it because I'm like, yeah, I want my buddy to train. You know, and he was going to school and stuff like that. So I paid for it.
Man, you were a really good friend.
Well, he drove me. I had a driver's license. So it was like, basically, I told him, like, you drive me, I'll pay for it.
All right. Well,
you know, but see, that was the thing. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a way to get there. I didn't have a car at the time. I was too broke. I didn't have the money. Right? I was poor. But I said, my buddy has a car. Hey, buddy, you want to train with me? I'll pay for your dues, and I'll work a little bit extra to make the money, and I'll make it happen. Like, when you want something so bad that you can't go without it, you will find a way no matter what. It has to become that if that's what you really, really want. If you don't really want it, it's fine. But
and talk to your coach, talk to the gym. You know, you're not like, don't expect like handouts, but like expect to work for it. Expect to get, you know, some type of services, whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're mopping the mats or doing stuff. You're working at the gym. You're spending a little less money somewhere else. So, yeah, I mean, like Chewy said, if you want it, you can do something to get it, make it happen. So.
Don't you go dying on me. Someone else.
Do we get a new one from Zach Amon?
Zach, the man.
Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Ooh.
sound quality is going to get bad for a little bit, guys. While I'm recharging. I'm recharging.
So.
What do you like? You like Popeyes?
I haven't had the sandwich fries. I haven't had. Let's do it. Let's do a video.
What's up with that sandwich?
Let's do it.
Is it that good?
No, it's not that good. Sorry.
Have you had it?
Guys, the sound quality is going to be off for a bit.
So
can they not hear me? They gotta hear me.
They can.
They can hear you. It's going to just sound like it's like.
So they can hear you through. Don't worry about it. So I think we should. I'm gonna pick
Sandwich
up.
challenge?
I'm gonna pick up those sandwiches. I'm gonna pick up just the Popeyes. I'm not going to Chick-fil-A. Screw that.
I had Chick-fil-A
I'm just going
last night.
Popeyes.
You're not going to. I don't want to. If we're doing I'm not doing a chicken sandwich, but if we're going to do a chicken sandwich, I'm getting some Chick-fil-A.
No, let's try. You haven't had Popeyes yet, man. You don't know.
We have to test both.
All right,
Yeah.
well then let's do it.
And then Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
We'll do a
at the same
video.
time.
No, I can't do Pepsi. That's the
You don't like Pepsi?
rots your
Pepsi.
insides.
Pepsi.
I give Pepsi.
Freaking. You know what's interesting? You put Pepsi on put Pepsi or Coke. You put it on like a battery. Like when you
Yeah,
put
it
the
cleans
acid,
it.
it'll clean it off, and then you're drinking that stuff. That must be delicious.
Dude, I know I told you the story, but if I told you like why I quit drinking sodas, like I
No.
used to sit at my desk for years, and I would just sit all day long, just sipping. It was Dr. Pepper was my poison, and one day I watched a video online. It showed up on my feed. It was this dude. He had two little bowls, and one he poured Coca-Cola. I'm pretty sure Coca-Cola. The other was like Coke Zero or something like that, and he boiled them, and he boiled off all the water. And at the end of it, the Coke Zero was like this little bitty dollop of like other ingredients. Coke Zero was like this little bitty dollop of like other ingredients. But Coca-Cola was this black sludge. It was the high fructose corn syrup and all that crap in there. And I thought about it, I was like, that's the stuff I've been sucking on for years at my desk. And so I cut that out completely and I dropped like 20 pounds. It was awesome. But yeah, Cokes are bad, man. Every once in a while, maybe if I'm feeling frisky, I'll have one. But that changed my life. Getting rid of Cokes.
Yeah, that's not so bad for you.
So it is.
So. All right. So, Chew here, you answering people.
Quit answering people.
Adam, do you have anything else you want to share?
The monkey thing, we covered that.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Adam really was like, dude, we got to talk about monkeys and gorillas and whatnot.
Lion King, I think we touched on that.
Yeah.
We touched on that.
What's, I mean, so, like since you're a black belt now, what are your aspirations with jiu-jitsu?
Oh, man. You know what? I was thinking about this. Everyone always said, they're like, when you get your black belt, it's like you start over with your white belt. Like, it's a whole new journey. And I never knew what it meant. I was like, whatever, dude. You're going to be awesome. You're going to have all these superpowers. It's going to be great. But it really is. It's like you're starting over. Like, I mean, not that like I said, I didn't really work toward belts to begin with, but there's nothing to look forward to in the sense of, I'll be a blue belt in a year or whatever. So now, top player, like, that's kind of like my thing. And I've had all my aspects of my game come from the top, but I'm like, I'm going to be a new, like a submitter from the guard, coming up. Because
Like reinvent yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm working toward now, is like more submissions from the bottom, or like working on my problem areas and that sort of thing. So all these like things that I suck at, I'm like, those are my new belts. They're like, I'm going to be good at that in a year, That's kind of how I approach it. So.
That's interesting. No, that's a great point. 'Cause, I mean, yeah, if you chase the belts, but I think when you get to a black belt, like I think you pretty much pass that stage or past that desire.
Yeah, but I mean, it was weird. It's like, because you sit there and you think about it, you're like, man, what do I do now? Like, what am I working towards?
Same shit you've been doing.
Yeah, I guess just keep on doing it. But there was always like a competition thing too, like with your fellow belt level people. You want to like kind of stand out, and you don't want to like. I don't want to say you don't want to lose to like, if you're a brown belt or a purple belt, you don't want to lose to fellow purple belts. But, there was like, that's kind of how you measure yourself. Like, how do I do against my peer group? Now you're a black belt and it's like, okay, I've got to like work toward bettering myself. Myself is my opponent. And I got to work toward, like I said, focusing on my problem areas. So that's kind of how I approach it.
It's always been that way, but now it's like when you're out there by yourself, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even more so.
It's about just your own progression.
Well, it's always. Yeah, it's working. I'm just making sure because you guys were saying that the mics are off. The mics are off because I had to charge the thing, but.
Can they hear us?
They can hear us.
Yeah, it's just not the best sound quality.
Not the sound
Quit
quality.
complaining. You can hear us just fine.
But I mean, it's always been that way, and that's the way it always should be. Is basically you focus on yourself. But the thing is it's what people do. Like even if there were no belts, there would be some sort of like hierarchy of we know who the best is. Like in high school wrestling, there were no belts, but we all know who could beat who. You just knew. Like I was like, he can beat him, I can beat him. Sometimes we go back and forth, and I can beat all of them. Right? There's some sort of hierarchy that's set. And so it's the same thing. So basically in the beginning, like you get focused on climbing up the hierarchy so that you feel like you don't suck so bad. And then once you get to the top, you're like, you don't get it until you get it. But you get to the top and then you're like, oh, I'm focusing on me now. I should have been doing this the whole fucking time. But, whatever, we're here now. It's like one of those things where like you don't get it until you get it. Because like we can talk about it and look back on and say, oh, this is what you gotta do, but until you're there, you don't know.
Yeah, you always, like Adam had said, you always want to you kind of compare yourself to others. Like, where do I stand with my peers? And in some aspect that's true, but in a lot of other ways, it's just kind of, you're trying to better yourself.
Yeah, you gotta focus on that, definitely. That always kind of helped me too. Like, I think I've told the story a number of times, but I used to suck at passing the guard. I was afraid to try. I knew I was going to get swept or submitted, so my biggest thing was waiting for the other guy to like screw up. He would throw some sort of scissor sweep and you're like, haha, you did that wrong, and that's how I would pass. And I focused as a blue belt. I was like, I got to get good at this. I got to like make this my strong point. So that's what I worked on. For years. Was like making myself, a good guard passer. That was my thing. So if I had any advice for anyone, it's like take whatever you suck at and make that your strong point. Make that the thing that you're known for being good at.
Move towards the thing your work's at.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question that popped up, and I know we're kind of all over the place right at this point. This podcast.
Do it, Pam. Yeah, Pam, I saw your question.
Pam, you should
over 50 female train.
go train. Go do
Go
it.
train.
Go do it. If you don't worry about what anybody says. If you want to do it, go do it. And there's another question from Leo Key who says, Chewy, how do beginners relax when rolling? Well, first off, you make the conscious drive to try to relax. That's first. Know that you want to. And then two, here's something that helped me. I talked about this in my email this morning. Treat your training partner's body like your own. That's a good one. So basically, think about it this way. Here's a great example. The interconnectedness of life, right? We think that as humans, we are separate from the earth. But what happens if there's no trees? We die. We cannot breathe. I heard it said that half of our lungs are outside. Half of our lungs are the trees because they produce the oxygen that we need to live, right? We're not disconnected from anything. On the mats, how do you improve? How do you get better? With your training partners. If your training partners aren't there, they're not there. You don't train. You don't have any rolling partners. You don't improve. So you got to think about that. So when you're rolling with you, it can be a pain in the ass, man. Because in the beginning, you want to be so good. You want to be better. You do. So what do? You go hard all the time. And also, you don't know what the hell's going on sometimes. So you just go crazy because you're like, I got to try something. Totally get it. But remember that person's body, if it isn't around because you injure it, means you don't get to roll. So when it comes time to like slam someone to the ground, well, maybe you don't slam them. Maybe you just kind of ease up on the takedown. When it comes to finish the submission, maybe you don't crank it too hard. Maybe you try to give them a lot of time to tap and you take it with control. You treat the training partner's body like your own because it'll give you more training partners. And I think that if you think about it that way, a lot of times it'll make you think about what you're doing a little bit more on the mat because you think, oh man, like this is my training partner. I got to keep him healthy. Instead of just being on this hell-bent war path to try to win the roll, which I say this from experience because I was that way till I was a purple belt, and I wasn't fun to roll with. I would go crazy, and then my coaches had to sit me down and be like, "Bro, you need to chill out. Like you need to relax because you're not trying anything new." And it took me to purple belt to learn that. So make the intention. Be aware that you're being spazzy. It's okay. It's normal. Do your best to, over time, let go of it. And then remember, treat your training partner's body like your own, and that's a good starting point.
That's a great point.
Re-Up Entertainment wants to know what's Adam's best BJJ memory.
BJJ memory from Adam, what is it?
It would be the day I got my black belt.
Was it?
It was. Because it was your birthday thing. Like, we're all there for you, if you remember.
I do.
And then, like, I mean, this is the thing. Like, this is how Chewy does his promotions, but it means a lot, like, when he gives you his belt. Like, that's the belt that he was wearing. He was like, I saw him, like, kind of, like, take it off. Like, I thought he was just adjusting, you know, and I looked to put mine on, you know, and I'm, like, strapping up, and then, like, he grabs my brown belt and pulls it off. I was like, oh, this isn't happening. And then he puts it around me. It was freaking cool, man. Like, there's a video of it on his YouTube channel. You should go watch it. You know, it's really awesome. That was one of my better memories.
Special.
That's a
It was
goal.
a special day, yeah.
Yeah, I like that it was kind of, it was kind of your time too. It was nice because kind of were you doing promotions at that time or was it? It was just kind of.
That was his birthday roll.
My birthday roll.
That was just,
Yeah.
everybody's just there to hang out.
Well, it's like, you know, I think the year before I promoted Fleener and Pabone to brown belt on my birthday.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's just like they were both there, and I associate Fleener and Pabone together because like they both came in around the same time, and they're old like college buddies, and so I was like, yes, they get to be promoted together. We're doing it right now, you know. So I was already thinking about it, but you know, so.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was a fun day.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool just to see kind
You
of.
were there.
Yeah.
My buddies were all there.
I think I knew it was gonna. Did I know it was gonna happen?
I don't know.
Maybe I did. I think I knew something was going on, and yeah.
That and that time that Misha told me I was getting my purple belt.
Oh my god. Let's talk about this.
Mission told?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh,
Mission told him
God.
I didn't know this.
We met up for dinner, and she goes like, we're always like friendly.
So-
and she goes, congratulations. I'm like, for what? She
So
goes,
Oh man, I
I
didn't
knew.
know this.
God bless America.
and then he like
So-
starts scolding her. He's like, Misha. And she goes,
So
what?
I had known, I think.
Yeah, because I told everybody.
And I told him, yeah, Adam's getting his black belt.
No, it was
But-
purple.
Or purple belt, I'm sorry. And I told her, and I guess she had thought that he already got it.
Oh.
And I'm like
Joe
looking
gave
at
a
her,
dollar.
and I'm like, no,
He's gonna want that
no,
back.
no.
Thanks, Joe
And
Clark.
she said that to her, and man, she felt bad.
She
number
did.
one. And I felt Like
I thought it was
the
hilarious.
worst person. Because I felt like I took something away from like your experience. I felt like I took away from like the. It's a surprise, kind of. In some aspects, it's a surprise, like your black belt was. But I felt like I took away from it. I felt like the worst.
We were
This is so special.
We were riding her the whole night, like, well, eventually gonna just blow that surprise too.
Yeah, because this is before you got into the purple belt Facebook group, like the purple belt and up.
Yeah.
The group. So like in that group I was like talking to people. I was like, hey guys, like
I wasn't in that group.
You weren't there?
No.
Okay. I was
talking.
talking.
Purple.
Well, I was talking to you because again I wanted you to know because obviously
Sure.
because
And I
you guys
screwed it up.
you guys
So
buddies.
there we
See
go.
what
And
happened.
you know what's funny about that is that after I got into the Purple Belt Facebook group, and then I was reading some of the comments about that conversation. Everyone's like, yeah, that's awesome, great, glad to have Adam. And then I think it was Albright was like, well, if everyone else is just gonna say yes, I'm gonna say no. Like I think you would ask for everyone's opinion, like how do you feel about Adam? If you guys get in
Is
touch.
there a black belt group now? Is there a secret
Well, you'll
group
find
now?
out.
I guess
I don't know. Am I gonna?
I should probably make
Wait, did you just give something away?
It's just me and Chewy like talking shit.
me, Chewy, and Tony. Well, no, Tony's not. I don't think Tony's still.
There's a black belt group. Secret
Tony's
black
back on
belt?
Facebook.
There's a secret black.
Well, we're
belt
not gonna tell you, man. It's like the Illuminati.
If we told you about the secret group, it wouldn't be a secret. now.
Yeah.
It's like Eugene.
Oh.
Chad's watching. You can keep his mouth shut.
Is Chad now?
Chad
doesn't.
knows
He
everything.
left. He left us. Thanks for leaving us, Chad.
Come back, Chad. We miss you.
I had a couple questions. People were asking like, is jiu-jitsu right for people with this? For people?
Yes.
First responders, I saw that. Yes.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
People freak out, and you got to subdue them.
You have to go find your own experience. I cannot tell you whether it's right for you or not. You have to discover that. I can give you encouragement and I can give you ideas on things to think about, but ultimately you have to go make your own experiences. So what I would say is if you have the curiosity, even just like you're thinking, man, would it be good for me? Just go do it and find out. Right? Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is, I don't know, but you gotta find out because I can tell you it's for you and it's not for you. I can tell you, man, I wouldn't do it, and then it works out perfectly. So ultimately you have to go find your experiences. But what I would say is if the idea of jiu-jitsu, the thought in your head is tugging you along, it's like saying, hey, come on over here, like try this, follow it and see where it goes. Maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't, but you won't know if you don't try. Follow the experience.
And it's got to mean something to you. Like, don't do it because people are telling you to do it, or if you feel like it's something. I think you have to try it. You have to just get your own, like you said, get your own experience to it.
Find your own experience. Have your own experience, right? It's going to be different. Like Joseph Campbell, he describes it so beautifully. He says that like when you go on like a journey, you go on something, you come up. It's like coming up to a big thick forest, and you have to carve your own path. If you look over and you see someone else's path, that's good. And you kind of maybe know the general direction they're going, but that's someone else's. You got to carve your own path. You got to do your own. And I always thought that was really it was such a good metaphor, right? Like, because we want to look at people's experience and go, ooh, me. You got to have your own,
That's a great point.
Chubbs Peterson says Joe and Adam look like twinsies. What picture are you looking at? I'm the twin that gave up. Like Joe actually developed himself and got stronger.
Your jiu-jitsu is better than Joe's.
I don't know, man. Have you rolled with Joe?
I have.
He's an athlete, man. Jesus.
He is.
I was looking to get a guillotine.
Joe's just like a wide little brick.
Yeah.
God, he's so strong.
We should do something about him. Like he's too.
Break his leg or something.
He's too powerful.
Yeah.
You got to be dealt with, Joe.
It's quads.
If you're still watching,
Joe, if you're watching, what is
You
the
guys do.
circumference of your quad?
oh, measure your quads, Joe.
I think
Comment below.
I think you said it's like I feel like last minute like 28 or something.
That's insane.
28.
It's like the size of people's waists.
Like 27 or something like that. I mean, they're really big.
That's over 2 feet around.
I can believe that.
He's got massive.
26 and a half inch.
26 and a half
I
inches.
love your quads.
Because he's
Absurd.
because his quads. And the thing is like his legs.
We should
like
put lotion on Joe's quads.
he's got
I'll do it.
he's got the legs of like a 295-pound man on like a 5'7", like 215-pound man. Like they're just so big.
It
So
can't be
so
good.
big.
It can't be good for your feet.
The rest of you guys are like watching this, going, "What are they talking
Like, who the
about?"
hell's Joe?
So my buddy Joe Clark,
Send pics.
my business partner. If you want to check him out, you can go to Average Joe. He gets tagged in a lot of my stuff on Instagram. He's got like tumors in his leg. He says that it's muscle, but I don't think so. I think it's just tumors because very unnatural looking.
Joe is like you know, I would say the knowledge base in comparison, like Chewy's knowledge of jiu-jitsu, Joe's knowledge of weightlifting, and kind of that his technique. And man, I'm always, like I said before, I feel like I have decent mechanics. You know, I'm not a big weightlifter, but you know, I will lift, and I feel like my mechanics are decent, having a good background in physical therapy, whatever. But man, Joe always points something out that I can improve upon, and it always helps. He's just, and I'm like, how the fuck do you see some of these things? And he just knows.
Yeah, you're like, just picking stuff up, Joe. He's
Yeah.
like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's wrap up. Let's get a couple more questions
I ain't
and we'll
ready to
wrap this up.
No.
If you guys have a few questions, let's see. Maybe we can put the mics back on.
Power?
Well, we're gonna wrap up so we can.
We'll wrap up. Let's wrap it up.
Let me put the mics back on.
Pick it up, set it down, Joe Clark. That is very simple context. Chubbs Peterson, you are welcome anytime. On YouTube. So
Chubbs Peterson knows he is. Friggin' Chubbs, man, he's been at the gym several times. He's a cool dude.
nice guy. Nice guy.
Super
He was-
cool guy.
What, for the Brandon McCaffrey stuff?
Yeah, well,
Somewhere
he's
there.
been there. He's done a private with me. I remember Carlos needed a place to stay up in Chicago. He let him stay at his place. He's a good dude.
All right, Chubbs. Good man.
Chubbs is an honorary member of Derby City.
There you go.
Come back anytime.
Yes, ask questions. We are taking questions for a couple minutes, and then we're going to wrap up.
When's we have team training.
28th.
We're doing Nashville,
Nashville,
and we have
Adam?
promotions
No.
when? September what?
19th.
Is that next week? No, 2 weeks.
Khabib or Tony? I'm going to go Khabib.
Oh,
Khabib.
you know, Tony has a freaking probably one of the best styles to maybe give Khabib problems
Definitely.
because he plays that. He plays that 10th planet problems
Definitely.
because he plays that. He plays that 10th planet.
But
kind of rubber guard.
I'm going to go with Khabib just because this is number.
I think you have to.
Leo, $4.99.
How are jiu-jitsu competitions? Are they similar to wrestling tournaments? Similar in the sense that you're going up against people, but I mean different in the sense that you're under jiu-jitsu rules. But I mean they're similar. If you've done wrestling competitions, you'll feel right at home with a jiu-jitsu competition. I know I did. The only thing that sucks about most jiu-jitsu competitions is like in wrestling, there's a lot of space in between matches, and jiu-jitsu competitions sometimes they just like they get them going.
Is 33 too old to start jiu-jitsu?
Absolutely not. Crazy. Get in it. Do it.
Turd Ferguson, can I get good luck for my tournament next Saturday in Atlanta? Thanks. Good luck, dude.
Good luck, Turd Ferguson.
Good luck.
I hope you get that stuff.
Ferguson.
There was
Hope you get that gold medal.
What's that fight this weekend? It's Gaethje against Cowboy. Who wins that?
I don't know who's Gaethje.
He's like a crazy person. He just freaking
We'll
throws
go
down.
with Cowboy.
I don't watch fighting as much anymore because they come on at really late at night.
I think
can't stay up till
so.
2 in the
Gaethje is
Every
from
weekend, too.
he was at like
Justin Gaethje.
Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, okay, I remember the guy. So I'm gonna go with
him and Cowboy are fighting Saturday tomorrow.
I'll give it to
Cowboy's
Justin
off.
Gaethje
I'm
on
thinking-
youth.
I'm picking. Yeah, he's 30 and Cowboy's 36.
Yeah.
I'm picking Gaethje by TKO.
think so.
Oh yeah. No. Dude, he's gonna throw down. I think Cowboy's gonna get hit. I think he's gonna hit him, and then that's it. So,
Tips for your first tournament. We all got.
We already did that one. Just go do it.
Just go do
Just
it.
go do it.
Don't do anything weird. Don't do anything like I did and like try to like lose a bunch of weight and like not eat.
Yeah.
like, I didn't know what I was doing.
yeah, if you cut weight for a tournament, do like a practice run.
Yeah.
See how you feel.
If it's your first tournament, don't even worry about weight cutting. Just go out and compete.
No, absolutely not.
Like you don't want to mess. Here's the thing I say: do 3 tournaments before you give any crap about your like. Most people lose their first couple competitions, or they don't do very well in their couple competitions. I know that like I struggled in wrestling, and then I started competing. I was fine, but it's a tough thing. Do 3 competitions. I don't know what it is about 3, but I've seen so many times where people do 3 competitions and for some reason it turns around and then all of a sudden they're able to unleash who they actually are in the...
That's how it worked for me. It was
yeah.
my third one I finally picked up.
There it is. So, I mean, like, and this happened with Hero back in the day. Like, Hero, he basically was 1 and out for his first 2. His third competition, he was just friggin' beating the crap out of fools. And then he took second. So I think that that's a really good way to go about it. Like, just try to get 3 in as quickly as possible to kind of like get through those nerves, understand how it works, and then start kind of putting judgments on yourself.
Yeah, I think a big thing's the nerves. For me, the hardest thing was the nerves. Not It just being there,
It's everybody's way.
anticipation,
Yeah.
and kind of not knowing, because you don't know the outcome. You don't know what's going to happen.
It's the unknown. You're throwing yourself to the unknown, and the unknown's always a little scary. Gordon versus Palhares.
Palhares,
Oh,
yeah, that's
I'll give that to
exciting.
Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah,
Ryan.
man.
It's gonna be they're gonna,
Didn't Daytona win against Palhares?
no they had a draw
True.
because they did a Polaris. I think it was Polaris. So they went the full time. So I don't know what are they. It's jiu-jitsu. It's like some kind of jiu-jitsu.
I have no clue. I didn't know that
I don't know what
was
the rule set is. So it depends on the rule set. But I think Gordon's gonna have a little bit of a hard time
is the
trying to
rules?
submit Palhares because he's very very good with leg locks. So
Very good. Like very stout.
yeah, and
But
he's so
I
thick
think
and
I think
strong.
I think if he was gonna I think if he beats Palhares probably with like a back take and choke.
Maybe
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great point. Yeah,
Because I mean the thing about Gordon, he's got good leg locks, but he's got really good back takes.
he's good. But I don't know. Has he competed since his injury? I think he was in one of those tournaments, but he never ended up going. I
don't know.
because who do we have? Lachlan Giles like destroyed like his
Everyone.
entire team. Like he beat like 4 people.
Oh, wow.
He beat a whole team by himself.
Good for him. He's a very nice guy.
He's phenomenal. Yeah.
Would Ryan Hall beat Khabib?
We talked about this
Talked about that
with Kenny Florian and
Skin flow.
styles make fights. So, man, I don't know. I think Khabib wins. Honestly, I don't want to say that, but I think Khabib is good enough to avoid getting leg locked.
Yeah.
Robert Lopez. Yes, I am. I'm a history buff. Big history nerd.
Big time.
Big time.
Adam?
Adam.
Adam.
Chewy, do you have a favorite general?
Favorite general?
Like his favorite.
You're my favorite general.
Gosh.
Why do you get all weird when I call you the general?
No, I'm just
You're our general. You're our general.
I
Own it.
have trouble accepting admiration.
Yeah. Well,
We love you, Chewy. You're a
we love
great
you,
leader.
Chewy.
I'm being true. I mean, like it's really what it is. If you ask why, I mean, I'm being honest.
Well, you're humble. Probably that's part of it.
Humble, and there's we all have it to some degree. Every one of us has some sort of shame or guilt,
Sure.
and so it's like I still sometimes go like, who the fuck am I to be doing all this stuff? And so, yeah, that's my own hang up. But general, my favorite general.
Or a leader, military.
One of my favorite here, I'll tell you one of my favorite leaders. One of my favorite leaders is Admiral Horatio Nilsson. The reason why is he was the British admiral. He was the guy that basically his master stroke was the Battle of Trafalgar in 1812, and basically he beat the brakes off of Napoleon's fleet. And it was interesting how he did it because he basically back in the day you would fight with broadside, so you'd fight side to side. He drove his fleet straight in on the guys, was taking fire, and then they encircled the combined fleet of the French and I think it was the Spanish, and beat them, right? A bigger fleet. And the thing that I liked about him is that he lived his bullshit, right? So he said things, but he did them. So he would be out there on the deck wearing all his, like, so basically back in the day, like, guys would be sharpshooting. They'd be trying to shoot the officers. So they would take off their clothes insignias that would define them as an officer. He didn't. He wore all his stuff. And he'd be out there, whatever. Like, there was like when he fought at the Battle of Trafalgar, at that point, one of his arms was off. He was missing an eye. Because he's been in these battles, and it was said that when he got his arm cut off in one of the battles, they're sawing it off basically because that's what surgery, right? They had to saw it off. So he's down there drinking, in the cockpit is what that was actually called, where they would saw it off and the surgeons sawing off his arm, and he's like they said he was singing Rule Britannia, dun, 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 whatever. So and then he gets back up on the top of the floor and like leads the battle. So in the Battle of Trafalgar, like again, he wins, but he's like they're up there, and it's said that because you don't know, but it said that as he died, they won the battle because he got shot in the shoulder because he's wearing all his stuff. But that dude was all about being bold and going for it, and he lived his bullshit. So he didn't just talk about it; he did it. And I always respect the guys that did stuff like that because he wasn't like a general or someone that just sat in the back, like, oh, you guys go do your thing. But as far as being a leader, he was like, I'm out here in the front. I'm wearing my insignias. Let's do this shit. Come with me. And I'm willing to be bold and go for it at no expense. And I always thought that was so cool. And so he inspired a whole generation of Navy admirals like in the British fleet. Because at the time, like when they were, you think about these ships being here, he drives a ship. So basically they're taking fire and they can't shoot for a long time. So he just getting hit and then they encircle. It's like, and he was like, I don't care. It's what we're doing. very cool. So I really have a lot. That's like one of those generals where I always like, thought it was really cool what he did. I mean, there's a lot of cool ones out there. It's hard to pick a favorite, but as far as like that, where to me, I always value people that live their bullshit. So if you talk about it, be about it. Don't just talk about it. Go like whatever you're saying. You should embody the things that you're talking about.
All right. Let's do one more. Robert Lopez, any book recommendations for someone interested in this kind of stuff?
For what? For
Just like history.
History stuff.
Oh,
One book. One
God.
book.
What's one of your history
To get you
books?
started.
You got a whole wall full of these things?
Yeah, dude. It's hard to say. Like, it depends on what kind of history you're into. It really depends on what kind of stuff you're into. One of you guys just talking about Eisenhower. I just listened to on Audible. I just finished listening to a Eisenhower biography. Interesting dude. As far as like, here, let me give you a couple authors. One author on history that would be interesting to read, Will Durant. He was a philosopher / history guy. So basically, everything he does has a philosophy spin to it because he was part philosopher, part historian. A really good narrative historian that does some stuff like with ancient history mostly was Tom Holland. Tom Holland was really good. He did like
Spider-Man.
No, not Spider-Man. He did Persian Fire, and then there was he did a really good one on Rome on the end of the Roman Republic. Really good guy to listen to or to read. God, there's so many good ones you can go down the list. I also like reading a lot of biographies that come from the leaders because like it's interesting to read about those people that were there, that actually did those things. Not about like you have some detachment now, so these guys are getting written about and like what they experienced. You know what I mean? So. And it's interesting to see who those people are because you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You get to see like the people that we mythologize, right? But then you also get to see the other sides of them. George Washington was kind of a terrible general.
Right.
Like as far as like his battle plans were always so overcomplicated. But he was kind of the guy. I mean, but we mythologize him, right? But like he lost more battles than he won. Handedly, because he would try to overcomplicate things and then like whatever. But I mean, that said, he still helped, and he was partly responsible for us getting in the war because he was a colonel out there doing reconnaissance and he fired on French troops. And then all of a sudden we're getting into fight with
Plot
France.
thickens, George Washington.
Dun, dun, dun.
Didn't you tell us Sapiens was a good read?
I'm reading that right now.
So
actually.
Sapiens, if you want to read that book, the first chapter blew me away. Just thinking about the idea that everything that we know is made up. Like the fact that you're a U.S. citizen, the fact that we have money, green money in our pocket that means anything. It's all made up and it's
all
imaginary.
storytelling.
It's storytelling.
Yep.
So it's a
good
fact.
book.
It's a good book. I'm actually going through and reading his second book. It's like lessons from the 21st century. I just read the one that it's talking about automation. And so it's an interesting book too. So
Yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. I'm working through it right now.
yeah, Sapiens is a fantastic book.
Do you listen to Dan Carlin?
I've been listening to Dan Carlin since 2009. He was like my
Before it was cool.
It's right, but because basically I got into it and I was like, man, dude, like I was listening to the Ostfront, Ghost of the Ostfront, and that's one on the eastern front of World War II. Which again, the Americans, we don't think anything about it, but the Eastern Front between Russia and Germany, that was just that alone. Everything else about World War II taken out. That was the largest battle between mankind it's ever happened. It's huge. Like the Operation Barbarossa, you have I think it was 1,000-kilometer front, over 1 million men from the German side come rushing through. Like it's fucking massive. It's insane. So yeah. Anyway, guys. Good talk.
Awesome. Adam?
I
did it. I didn't mean to do it, though. I didn't mean to do the Adam. I was just saying Adam.
It's a reflex. I can't not do it.